All right, 3, 2.
It's the clap.
The clap, every time he claps. So, do it again.
The strobe light goes off.
The strobe light goes off. What's up, Phil?
Our $1 million Make It Count podcast.
We're at $1 million already?
No, we're at 0. Actually, negatives. Yeah, nothing. I mean, this thing's going now. This will be like a month and a half into this by the time it airs. We're going to be on YouTube already.
I know, and you wanted to say the episode, and I tried to point you
Yeah,
out.
I just now was thinking, like, oh, this is going to be episode, but I don't know. I already lost count.
Yeah.
Well, you told me not to think about it. I'm not thinking about it.
I told you not to think about it, because how can we keep up with all the greatness that we've been putting out there, huh?
That's right. Right.
So look, we're going to talk today. I think this is a really important topic. It's just me and you talking about the F word. Not the F
That's
word.
my favorite word, but I spell it with PH.
Okay. Fail.
Oh.
Not the other F word.
Yeah.
It's all about failure and what, especially as entrepreneurs, both of us have been entrepreneurs.
We are again. Well, I am again, right?
Yeah,
This
I am too many times.
This is definitely a nonprofit.
I think my husband's probably going to kill me if I do one more entrepreneur thing. But failure, what that means as an entrepreneur, what does it mean about failing forward? Something new I think that's coming around. I don't know, have you heard about failing forward recently? Or
Not necessarily recently, but I mean, it's something that's always been out there. You always kind of talk about that. You fail, you learn from failure. I don't think that's anything new.
Yeah.
It's new. There's a new thing coming out.
I think I just heard that like a couple
a lot
months
older
ago.
than you, so.
You are a lot old. So maybe it's, you know how the crushed velvet comes around again? Like maybe that's,
Crushed out.
yeah, you don't even know what this is. Alright, so I sent you an article and I just kind of want to set the stage a little bit here. The meaning of failing forward. So failing forward means that a person embraces failing as stepping stones for future successes. To fail forward means that you have chosen to value every failure for the lessons learned and then apply those lessons in future efforts, even if those efforts might also result in failure. When you are failing forward, each failure moves you closer to the ultimate success. But, to be clear, embracing the idea of failing forward does not mean that you are striving to fail. It doesn't mean that you enjoy failing. It does mean that you understand that failure is a part of the journey to success and that you won't let the fear of failing stop you from taking the right size risk.
Yeah, I get it. I can dig it.
We'll talk more about that.
Well, I mean, like, didn't Thomas Edison say he failed like 1,000 times or something before the light finally turned on? He didn't just clap.
I'm not that old.
Like Brian does.
You're old to know about
Yeah.
Thomas Edison.
I mean, like, I don't know the exact quote, but like he failed like 1,000 times inventing the light bulb.
And didn't you just say the stats on baseball?
Yeah,
Talk
so
about
like baseball, you fail at the plate, 7 out of 10 times. If you get a hit 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. And Mickey Mantle, one of the greatest batters of all time, said if you put together his misses, his strikes, it would have been 7 years of his career without getting a hit. And so I think, and especially nowadays, like I'm gonna sound like an old crotchety guy, but like nowadays everybody wants the instant hit, the corner office, the right away, and well, you got to fail a lot, and I think it's hard to swallow failure. I mean, it's hard to swallow, and at 53, almost 54, I'm a lot. Anybody that knows me is like, what? I'm a lot wiser than I was.
No, not at all.
Yes, but I am. But so maybe it's just me being more introspective. But I gotta tell my kids that. They, you stumble and they're like, well, maybe this isn't for me. What, dude? Come on, it ain't a big a deal. It's a grade, or it's a speeding ticket, or it's you didn't take the shot, or whatever, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like in business, like I had a lot of setbacks. Like I opened a restaurant a year. The first 4 years I was in business, 6 overall in the 10 years I was in business. Ultimately, I think if you looked at it from a business standpoint, Phil's Grill was a failure, right? It's out of business, closed. But there were so many more successes. I mean, we were highly thought of. We were successful. I mean, I made some knuckleheaded decisions, but opening a restaurant a year the first 4 years when you don't have any money, that's crazy. But
People are still talking about Phil and Phil's
yeah.
Phil.
There's
the
great
legacy's
success
there.
of it,
Yeah.
but I always think about the failure. But when you really evaluate it, and I think you do that with anything. Like I look at that as, I think I've told you that in this, as we're putting this together, the last 3 or 4 months we're talking about it and now recording episodes, every significant setback in my life, I've come out stronger.
Mhm.
Now, 20 years ago, would I have said that? No. 10 years ago? No. Now I'm like cancer was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really was. So, that's failing forward. And I think from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I know you called me this spring because you were getting ready to open another business. And, it was in the restaurant space, so you need, can we say what it is?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. that's
You can
fine.
definitely promote my business.
Maybe we should talk about a sponsorship for Tighten Up Together.
Wait till we make money.
Right. You have to pay us.
Exactly.
But no, seriously. So you call me and you're like, "Hey, I need to bend your ear on this," and a lot of it was out of fear. I need to know, am I doing the right thing, and am I onto something? And I don't know if I gave you any good advice, but
I think you were scared that I was going to ask you to go in with me and give me some money. The whole time you were like on edge.
well, just like
Which I wasn't. I just needed your, and you did. You gave me what I needed in that moment. That you're like, well, yeah, this makes complete sense.
it does. I mean, I think there's a need. There's a market. But you still look at it, especially from my point of view now, like, oh God, I don't want to tell somebody to do it. But maybe
My husband's over there being like, you should have told her not to do it, Phil.
I think I probably did. But
Well, we don't have to tell people that.
But you have to. I mean, failure is just not something to be afraid of.
Yeah.
It's just really not. And I do think though that's easy to say now. Like it's when somebody with gobs of money is on Instagram or whatever saying, "Oh, well, money's not everything," and oh, man, okay.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the $4 gas outside, and you're flying private. So
Right.
it's kind of the same thing. Like, oh, well, yeah, but look at you now. Yeah, you're doing well now, but so I do think it's something hard to wrap your head around.
Mm-hmm.
But all you have to do is look around at people. Every successful person's failed, probably multiple times.
Right.
So.
And then they've taken that failure and like turned it into what can they do better, or like how can they make it better. When you make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, when you keep doing the same thing.
Yeah. Expecting different results. Isn't that the
That's
definition
crazy.
of insanity or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, 7 facts about failing. Let's run through those and see what you think.
Let's do it.
Number 1, it says you will sometimes fail. I think that should say you will fail.
You will fail. Yeah.
It's just like you will die. Like I think that's something that
failure's part of life.
it is, and you gotta embrace it and accept it. All right, number 2, the more you do, the more you will fail, but you will also succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you don't have failure in your life, that's because you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. Like you woke up, you went to work, you paid your bills, you died. That's it. So, that totally resonates.
Yeah. Number 3, you will learn more from the times you failed than from the times you succeeded.
Absolutely. Yeah, you learn from failure.
Yeah.
I got a PhD in restaurants. I do.
Talk to me about when they get to that sense of success and they don't feel, when you failure, you feel that heaviness. You feel defeated. You feel all these emotions, right? But when you get to success, sometimes it's empty. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Like when you hit that success, you're thinking that it's going to be this big old thing and you get it
Well,
and
you just go into the next step.
accomplish
Like,
that
you're not
goal.
finished.
You're not. So do you ever hit success? Ooh.
That's a good question.
You think Joe Rogan would come on and answer that for us?
I think he'd probably bring somebody on that can answer.
His like protege.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. To master a new skill, it takes 20,000 repetitions of practice. Success is a skill, and failing is the practice you need to master that success.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the numbers work, but yeah. I mean, it makes sense, you know, you're going to fail. So the more times you attempt whatever it is, you know, the more work you're putting in, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to fail. But that's just part of the process.
So let's talk about it in like
trust the process.
let's talk about it in the fitness industry, because I think a lot of people fail and then they give up. They've tried all these things. They've done all these things. And they're not seeing the success or the result that they're looking for.
Yeah.
What would you motivate and tell them?
You just got to keep going. You got to keep failing. That's just part of the process. You got to trust the process. If you're doing the right things, if your habits are good and evolving as you go through it, then you're going to find success. So, you know, people kind of want that instant gratification. So it's like, you know, 3 weeks. Oh, I didn't see any results. So Jude, my youngest, is 14, just finishes his first year of wrestling at Jesuit, and they start weight training, and you know, he's growing like crazy, but he's like 105 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like 5'6", you know, so he's skinny. But he decides he's going to start doing some training at home, you know, so he do push-ups and squats and whatever. And it lasted 3 days. And I'm like, I would just ask him, because he don't want to hear anything from me. So I would just ask him, like, hey, you work out today? You do some push-ups or whatever? And he's like, no. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, what happened? You quit? And he goes, well, I didn't see any results. So 3 days of doing, you know, I don't know, 20 push-ups a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he was expecting, but he quit.
Oh.
He didn't quit wrestling. He still, but
Yeah.
he like quit putting in the extra work. I'm just like,
What do you think about like the kids these days that are wanting that instant gratification and they don't get 100 likes on Instagram and they don't get that, like, and what's the psychology behind that, you think?
oh man, I think, you know, social media is going to, and it already has, but I think it's going to ruin a generation.
Mm.
Because especially you got all these like YouTubers, I guess now.
You're a
I'm
YouTuber.
But like seriously, like all of a sudden you hear this 16-year-old that's got like a gazillion dollars in the bank because they're on YouTube, they're just making videos. What happens when that star fades and now he's 23 and people don't like him? Like maybe he invested his money and that's cool, but they're doing it for the social interaction too. Like kids today, you know, I sound like a crotchety old guy, right? But like how much social interaction are they getting? Are they actually talking to somebody? Does my son actually know how to pick up the phone and call and ask a girl on a date?
No.
I tell him to, I'm like, well, you know. But I really, I think it's gonna be bad. I
Yeah.
really do. When it, yeah.
Well, and they get success so young that they don't understand the failure part or the working
Likes
at it.
on Facebook or Instagram, that's not success. Like, it's just not success. But you're right. That is what you're looking for. Oh, well, nobody gave me the thumbs up, or, you know.
And I think that goes back to, I asked you, what is success? And I think that's a definition.
It ain't likes on social media.
And I think that's a definition that everybody has to have for themselves.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we all have different.
I thought success was owning these businesses. And I get to it. Here I am owning the businesses, and I don't feel successful at all
Yeah.
because it's always that next level or that next level, right, that you want to reach to.
You know, with the restaurants, so like, I obviously, you know, went into it. I wanted to make money, right? I wanted to do well, and but really, the legacy of Phil's Grill, like, and it's not just with literally, I'm out somewhere and people are like, Phil, you need to reopen, or oh man, you know, I haven't had a good burger, or whatever. But the legacy that my employees, like, like that. We call the family spelled with a PH. You know, the Phil's Girl family.
You're
Like,
kind of getting teary-eyed again
I'm
about
not
it.
sweating.
You know, that's not. I hope
But
the
like
YouTubers
that, the
can see that.
legacy of that is really my success.
Yeah.
Like I think if I wanted to get the band back together and open, I could call 25 people, and they'd be like, "I'm there."
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily just because I'm like this cool guy, but we created a cool culture.
Yeah, what you had was
So
special.
so that was successful. That was very successful. You know, I mean, a lot of places don't have that.
Well, and it's even here at the gym. Like, I know that people are here because they want to be a part of that.
Yep.
I think that's success, is finding
Yeah, that's success. For you know, that's success.
finding that group of people that make you feel comfortable, that make you want to strive for better. Because, I mean, look, we had Brent on here. You've definitely impacted his life, all because he was a line cook.
Yeah, fired him.
You fired him a couple times.
Fired him once.
I don't know if we feel comfortable. He's not here to defend himself on this story. So I'm going to move to number 5. Number 5 is expect success, but also expect to fail along the way. I know this is kind of repetitive, but I think this is something that somebody out there, it could be Jennifer Mare, that needs to hear that failing is okay. Failing forward
it's part
is
of the process.
okay. It's part of the process.
So Jude, first year of wrestling, and I would always tell me to come off the mat. Yeah, you didn't win a match. I'm like, yeah, just part of the process. Just trust the process.
But when did, and was it society, and I'm asking this question, but when was it that failure became bad? When did that happen?
So again, crotchety old man coming out. I think it's my generation of parenting,
It's you, yes.
not my kids. My kids didn't grow up like this, but that every kid gets a trophy.
Oh,
Like,
the no kid
Jesus,
left behind.
You know, yeah, like it's okay. No, everybody's not going to win.
Mhm.
No, I think that's where it is. So I don't know. That's what it is. I'm blaming all my friends my age with that kids.
Yeah, because they don't experience that loss or failure when they're young.
Yeah,
So then they
travel ball
No,
pisses me off too.
sometimes I get when ball season comes around. I'm kind of thankful that I got 2 little girls, because I don't know if I could sit out there and be a baseball mom. All right, number 6. Prepare for the worst potential outcome, but plan for the greatest possible success.
Yeah, you got to
Well, I
have
like
that
that one.
big goal. You got to plan. You got to have that big aspiration and plan for and prepare. Be shooting for that, but understand that it's gonna be a setback.
Okay, so, and this might be a whole nother podcast. I feel like I say that every podcast. Brian's shaking his head saying, yeah. But when you get to that goal and you've reached it, how do you find the next level to reach? Does that make sense? I think I'm struggling with that part. Because like my goal was be in a strip mall, have a fitness studio. Not a stripper.
I was gonna say
A strip mall.
a whole nother conversation.
Have a fitness studio, have a meal prep, put them together. Okay, here we are.
Yeah, but
Now
this
what?
isn't the end goal, right?
Well,
I think that's how you. So I was just talking to somebody today. I said that I was talking about my journey, and I said to my doctor when I refused treatment, I'm going to go from stage 4 to 140.6. Well, now that's on the calendar. June 23rd, 2023. I'm going to do Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
shameless plug.
Well, whatever. Call it whatever it is. That is my goal. I've been talking about it for 4 years, 5 years. Wow. Anyway, when I reach that, that's my health journey doesn't end. Like there's going to be something next. So it's not like that's not the end. That's just a goal along the way.
So is that the start of the next finish line?
Yeah.
You know how they, if you can think about it like that? I think that's the one thing that I'm struggling with in life right now. It's like getting to there. Now what is the next thing?
This can't be.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
Look, I know because I lived it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything was Phil's Grove. Everything was Phil. Everything.
My husband's over there.
But so this can't be what defines you, right? And I did struggle with that.
Mhm.
Like now what? Now who? I'm a better person now.
That I will say that you
I
are.
am. I'm a better person 5 years later.
Number 7, failing does not make you a failure. The only thing that can make you a failure is never succeeding. Failure is the absence of success, not the presence of some fails.
Yeah.
I like number 6 the better. Prepare for the worst potential outcome, but plan for the greatest possible success. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, they all resonate. You know? There's a John Lennon quote. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and it's in that article you sent me, and it's something like, failure is not failure; it's just an error or something. It's only a failure if you keep doing it. So that kind of, it's like just a setback, whatever.
Yeah, so let's leave our listeners, viewers.
Should we be looking at the camera?
Oh, goodness.
I'm the professional.
You are the perfect, with a podcast with many episodes now.
Yeah, we don't know how many because I stopped counting because I couldn't keep up.
If we could leave them with like 3 tangible tasks about failure. Here I am putting you on the spot. Number 1,
Trust the process.
trust the process. Number 2,
It's okay. It's okay. It isn't gonna end it for you. I mean, that's kind of what you have to. I mean, I guess if you're a daredevil and you're trying to jump the Snake River or something, you miss the landing, it can end it for you. But it's probably not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
So get over it. Keep moving.
and number 3.
One foot in front of the other.
Okay.
Just keep going on. Just keep moving.
And let's talk a little bit about how does this have anything to do with making it count?
I think you have to make failure count.
Ooh.
Like, what's the lesson in that? That setback, that roadblock, that speed bump, whatever you want to call it, and make it count. So that you're not continuing the loophole of doing the loop of doing the same thing. Yeah. So you make the failure count.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Boom. Light went off. Wait, it didn't work for me.
It doesn't work for you. It's on.
There we go. Yeah. I felt a little inadequate.
You failed at that.
Shit.